She looks metallic.
Though I can't quite recall overnight sensation.
Welcome to the shop. In this episode, we have a cringefest extravaganza that has it all, including another terrible song from RuPaul, more temporal incursion, including Refilmed confessionals, and more examples of the queens self-producing themselves and also being kind of painfully aware of the production, the editing, the storylines. Yeah, it was kind of a shit show. Then, of course, more emotional porn, because we always need that. Who doesn't need a little bit of emotional porn from time to time? And RuPaul desperately trying to squeeze a tear because she felt sorry for Gottmik. Yeah, it was that bad. And the cherry on top, no elimination. This was episode 14. We have had already 4 non-elimination episodes and that Corona special, whatever it is. Next episode is going to be the reunion, so it's not going to be an elimination episode again. All in all, 17 episodes, and 6 of them have been non-elimination episodes. So it's RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. We need to dilute it as much as possible. So please remember, while you watch this review, keep in mind that we mean no disrespect to the queens, their personal stories, their struggles. It's not about that. It's not about the story. It's about the package, the editing, everything that went around that. That was the shit show. Now, as usual, we are back in the workroom. Olivia was just being eliminated. It was definitely her time. We've seen it coming for a long time. I'm not sure she really deserved those 2 wins to begin with. That's debatable. But then again, I wasn't there during filming, so I cannot really say who was good, who was bad. It's just kind of a feeling that we have. I think it was really overdue that she would go home. Nevertheless, there's always time for a temporal incursion, and this time, in a matter of 3 minutes, we have 3. 2 from our usual spiky hair rosé, and 1 from Simone, who kind of grew her hair a little bit more.
Olivia just sashayed away. It's sad, as always, to see another sister leave, but it was her time to go.
It could be that one of us goes home. It could be that 2 of us go home.
As much as I love these bitches, athletes don't go to the Olympics to make friendship bracelets. I'm ready to take these bitches down. Love them so much.
But it was her time to go, which I'm sure it's consistent with the edit, and I'm also sure it's one of the reasons she's saying those kind of things, because over time, we've seen Spiky Hair Rosé make an incursion in about 85% of the episodes that we've seen. And in addition to that, we have cracked down on the real confessionals that were really filmed after that day, and this confessional that you see here, that specific hairstyle, doesn't belong to any episode. So this was filmed at a later time. When do you ask? My best options, when Kimora filmed her, so probably around November, December, whenever they filmed the Meet the Queen, which is nice to know, and also a hint, the World of Wonder fucked up whatever the fuck they were trying to do, but of course we know that they do that a lot. After this, we immediately jump on to the day after, and this is one of my favorite moments in the entire episodes, because we see the top 4 on that very table pretending to fantasize about what they are going to do with the Drag Race money. And I am like, okay, come on. 100,000, which is really 50,000 after taxes, and they all spent anywhere between $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to begin with, well, apart from Candy Muse. And I like that they are pretending to act as if they're talking about $10 million. Oh, what are you going to do with all that much money?
I was just gonna, I don't know, like buy a boat or something.
Where you going, bitch?
Well, I want a boat because I just want a boat.
So after this, we immediately jump with RuPaul telling us what the Maxi Challenge is going to be. The queens are going to write lyrics, they are going to sing them, and they are going to prepare a choreography for RuPaul's new song, Lucky, L-U-C-K-Y. Why, it's mostly what I'm asking, because it kind of feels like one of those jingles for, how is it called? Constipation. It actually feels like kind of an advertisement for constipation. Listen to me, get lucky, it will help you. After this, we are greeted to another section of the queens pretending to write the lyrics. Because, you know, Denali cannot keep her mouth shut. So thanks to Pandalifa for sharing this with us. Apparently Denali went live again, on Instagram Live again, spilling a little bit of tea. Her verse for Congratulation, she was asked to write it before even going to the show. And that's not all of the story, because the rest of it is that she was asked to write for a specific part. So if that happened during the Congratulation, what do you think happened about the Lucky song as well? It really looks like they're standing there pretending. Yeah, oh yes, I'm writing about that. Oh yes, maybe I'll be doing this and that. And you know, I'm not faulting our dear queens. They have to go with the flow. They invested a lot in the race. If they told her pretend to write, you shut the fuck up and pretend to write. Our job is to say the things that they cannot say, so they are basically pretending to write the lyrics for the songs. And after this, you might think we are going to see them record the lyrics for the song, right? Well, no, you would be wrong, because if you would see that, you would probably realize that Rosé is the only singer in the bunch. She is the best singer, but I don't want to say best because it makes it look like everybody else can actually sing, when that's not really the case. So, but of course, you as a viewer cannot be convinced that that Rosé deserves to win. So you don't have to see that she sings very well. We all know it, but we don't need to be reminded of that. This episode is not about Rosé. We don't see the queens recording, but we are greeted to a triple mashup confessionals from, of course, our queen of temporal incursions, Rosé. In this triple mashup, this is one sentence. This is one long sentence. She's telling us what she did when all the lockdown happened. So when everything closed down and then she jumps to the actual Rosé from this episode, she would turn a quick buck by going on social media and creating a rap verse. And then Spiky Hair Rosé comes back to tell us that people went wild for it.
When the coronavirus hit and all of the bars closed down, one way that I'm turned a quick buck was I would go on social media and I'd be like, send me X amount of dollars, I will write you a personalized rap. And bitch, people went wild for it.
So in my sick mind, I'm thinking, what was the need for this? When Rosé originally recorded and told this story, was that not effective enough? Was she talking about something else? I don't know, they had to retcon it somehow. It's crazy. It's crazy that stupid things like this, like telling a story about how she coped with everything that's going around, had to be refilmed. This is the level of control we are talking about today. This is why Drag Race UK was so much better. So you would think that we had a mini advertisement, but we don't have a mini advertisement. We don't even have a mini challenge. Instead, we have Inside Drag Race. With Michelle Visage and RuPaul. Now, a lot can be said about this segment. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't like it, because basically what happens is a bunch of yada yada that goes on for 15 minutes. And honestly, I think that half of my brain was asleep during these things, because everybody is licking everybody. Oh my god, you're so good. Oh my god, what is your story? Oh my god, this advice from RuPaul and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I'm like, why do we have this segment? Because everybody would simply answer, we have this segment because we get to know more about the queens, right? Well, I completely agree with that. It's fantastic, but we already had 14 episodes before this, 13 competitive episodes and whatever that Corona thing was. So you would think that if they did their job correctly, now we do know who actually the queens are, but unfortunately no. We need this segment to know who they are because everything that was done in this 14 episode was edited, produced, instigated directly, indirectly, passively, actively. We have no idea who they are. We need to have this segment to get to know who they are, which is fantastic. This is the mark of excellent producing. The only positive thing that happened in this whole segment is Simone's superpower. And if you thought that Simone's superpower was just being sexy on the runway, no. She can regrow her hair. And this is the favorite superpower of mine because, in a lockdown, unfortunately, we had to cut our own hairs. And I mean, by cut, I mean butcher our own hair. So I actually envy Simone very much for this ability of hers.
Simone helps Reggie not be so in his head all the time. She's the confidence, she's the essence, the je ne sais quoi. Just hearing that analysis of what that really is, it's basically saying you're in your own way about making it to the finish line. Because baby, it's not that you lack anything. It's that you're not allowing yourself to shine.
So why did they mishmash Simone again? Well, because she had to describe who Simone is, and then she had to praise RuPaul's analysis in quotes, of her situation. It's not that she lacks anything. It's that she is not allowing herself to shine because, of course, it's her inner saboteur. This is one of those examples in which we see how self-aware the queens are about what's really happening during filming. They are pushing the psychobabble bullshit that RuPaul has been pushing for the last 10 years. It's about loving yourself, it's about allowing yourself to shine, and in this, Simone is really smart. But, I understand that she has to be smart this way, but she also have to understand that we have to be smart enough to recognize that it's a pile of bullshit that she is doing because she is required to do. Directly, indirectly, however you want, but we are not idiots. And most of all, the viewers of this channel are not idiots. So after this, we move to rehearsal with Jamal Sims, and I'm so happy that we have Jamal. Thank God we have Jamal. Why I am so happy? Well, first of all, he looks like a very personable person. He looks like he's really professional in everything that he does for the show, and if he has to go with the storylines, he always looks human while doing it, and is so much better than Todrick Hall. After this, we go to our last mirror scene. This is the last moment our beloved queens will be in the workroom before finally going to the runway and find out that somebody will be eliminated. And you gotta give it to them, because production is doing all that they can to convince us that somebody is going to go home today. So not only they tell us, oh, this is elimination day, but of course we have a confessional from Gottmik who tells us that somebody has to go home today. Everybody knows that we had a top 3 in season 12 because somebody was in the top 4 and got disqualified. So they were basically left with the top 3. But the top 4 format, since it was implemented in season 9, is such a good format that you just don't change it. You're out of your mind if you do it. So by the end of the day, we find out that all of this was a setup for a little bit of shock value, because we needed to be convinced that Simone was going to get eliminated. For a moment, remember, for a moment. Of course, it's our last scene on the mirror, so it's time for Simone to shine again with some more psychobabble. Because, we have this scene in which Simone is doing her makeup and she is describing how she was before coming on the show. She was a very lonely kid, she was a very shy kid, she didn't love herself. But in this competition, she was able to blossom. And now she loves herself, and she can say that. She is desperately trying to squeeze a tear, but a tear is not coming out. Why is it not coming out? Well, I don't think she is that kind of a good actress to begin with, but maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, she's saying what she's saying because she feels like she has to say it, not because it comes from the heart. But of course it's more good publicity for the show, because you know that in the 3 weeks that it takes to film this season, the Queen make a 180. They change completely. They make friendship that they couldn't absolutely do outside of the show. They are able to blossom, express themselves, and all thanks to World of Wonder and thanks to RuPaul. Don't forget that. After all of this, we finally get to the main stage where we get to see the Queen's performance. And I know what's the question on everybody's lips. How did they get the right outfit for this performance, you ask? You know, the answer is quite simple. They prepared it in advance. They were asked to prepare multiple outfits for the finale because, you know, of course it's the Queen, so who gives a shit if they have to spend $5,000-$10,000 more on outfits that they will never mathematically use, because it's just a matter of some producer being behind the scenes during casting and thinking, oh, we still don't know if we would like queens to dress in pink or green or yellow or whatever it is, and so just prepare a little bit more. Peasant. Buy more dresses, peasant. After you sign the contract, of course. Oh my god. Oh my god, do you see why when I do this show, since the very beginning of the inception of this show, I always push the idea, please give the queens always the benefit of the doubts. They are not the villains here, no matter what you see on television. None of them is the villain here. There is only one villain, and it's called World of Wonder. Moving on to the runway. What was the subject of the runway? Like, best drag, best whatever it is? Drag excellence. And we start with Gottmik. And how does Gottmik look? Personally, I did like Gottmik. I almost always like Gottmik on the runway, but that wig is fucking unforgivable. It's awful. The shape, it's terrible. It's doing her no favors at all. She should take that wig and burn it. And after she burned it, she should spread the ashes in the 4 corners of the world so that she can ensure that it will never come back. That wig was terrible. It was simply revolting. I don't know what was going on in Gottmik's mind. But at least she's giving a wink wink to Dusty Ray Bottoms, if you still remember who Dusty Ray Bottoms is. But in case of Candy, I was like, well, Candy, it's not like you served anything particularly finale worth it before, so did she really choose to wear this for the finale? Was this the original dress that she thought? She looked at this dress and she thought, oh yes, that's my finale dress. That's my eleganza, extravaganza, best drag, whatever, and I'm going to wear that? And I'm like, Candy girl, you might want to ask for a refund, because that thing is I don't know, it looks like something that I would make. And I said it all. And the makeup was so harsh. And Candy has shown already in this competition that if she wants, she can do very good makeup. She can blend, she can match colors very well. So I'm like, Candy, you are not painting for the back of the room. This is television. This is episode 14. By this time, somebody should have oh, wait. Because in the critiques, they never give you actually feedback, do they? Otherwise, they would have told her, hey, Candy, when you paint for the camera, you have to paint much lighter. This is not a club. You have lights pointed on you and the camera picks up everything. And if you paint like this, you're going to look like a clown. Plain and simple. But of course, you know that the critiques are not feedbacks. One last thing about Candy. I liked the wig, because big girl need big wig. So I liked that wig. I will give her that. Then we move on to Rosé, and I didn't like whatever Rosé was serving. I understand the concept, and I am glad that there is a concept behind it, but I didn't really like it. I didn't like the fabric. I think it was too dark. It looked too busy. It was kind of until her knees. She's basically a box. There is no shape. There is this belt hanging in there for dear life, desperately trying to give her a shape, and it's not really working for me. Those gloves look like they went in civil war with the rest of the outfit and the wig. Nobody knew what happened, and the makeup was unblended. What the fuck happened with the queen's makeup? Because at this point, I'm going to think they gave them 30 minutes to prepare. And they said, you have to do your makeup in 30 minutes. Which kind of makes sense, because Gottmik is a makeup artist, and Simone is really quick with her makeup. She usually have a very light makeup on. So maybe they were trying to fuck somebody? I don't know. I'll let you speculate on that. But I wasn't proud of that makeup. It didn't look good on her. Gothboy UK, Rosé's outfit was made for someone at least 30 centimeters taller. It swallowed her. Well, good for her. What can I say? I mean, it's the finale. You need some relief. Moving on to Simone, and Simone looked fantastic. There is nothing to say about Simone. And I will relay it back. It's the same shape, yes, whatever. But did you see what everybody else served on that runway? I even hear some people's opinion saying, well, you know what? It was kind of refreshing that the best drag was none of those expensive gowns, and it was just, normal dresses. And I was like, for fuck's sake, if there is one dress that you need to spend your money in, it's your Final Four dress. It's your best drag, I understand Rosé, for example. It was a very elaborate concept. It didn't work for me, but I understand that there was work behind it. But Gottmik and Candy look like, girl, did you run out of money? Couldn't you pay the stylist? I don't know what happened. But Simone looked amazing. So I don't know if because the dress is fantastic by itself, or I don't know because in comparison to everything else that was served on that runway, it elevated her so much. She looked fantastic. I have nothing to say about that at all. At all. And you will get a permaban if you say anything about... No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Moving on to the critiques, which I'm not going to discuss because it was a bunch of yada yada. You went so far. You were so good. Ooh, you changed so much. And of course, there was that part where RuPaul desperately tried to squeeze a tear. She was like, my God, Gottmik, your story touched me. And I was like, where did it touch you? RuPaul, tell me. We're going to cut this out. So she was desperately trying to squeeze a tear, and the tears wouldn't come out. They just wouldn't come out. But of course, we know RuPaul is a successful businessman, but she is no actress, and it's so transparent.
There are a few times during this competition that you mentioned your parents, and it really touched me when you mentioned them. Because I think about kids around the world. I am so proud of you. And I know your parents are proud of you too. Because now they really understand what a gift you are to this world.
Okay, I got it. We need to push Gottmik, but for fuck's sake, where is the limit? Where is the limit? Where is the decency? Because when you fake cry about the real story and real suffering of someone, you are not just disrespecting us, the viewers, trying to push your storylines, you're also disrespecting the personal story of that person, because you are not even giving a sincere reaction to it. So after the non-cryptics, it's time for some emotional porn. And you find that a lot of new viewers watch this section and they are left with this feeling, oh my God, it was so inspiring, it was so nice, it was so refreshing for that to be done on television. If you are one of those viewers, these reviews are not for you. Enjoy the Jantasy if you're still in the Jantasy. Enjoy it. It's worth all of it. But the moment you start noticing things, you can come back and see our reviews and see what's actually happening. Because this is just emotional porn, you know? And RuPaul starts this segment saying like, oh, it's an old tradition on Drag Race that we did this. And I was like, yes, since that time that you tried to fish for whatever Pearl's trauma she had in her childhood. Because that's the season when this whole bullshit started. And everybody saw that. And everybody thought the same exact thing. What the fuck happened to Pearl? That of course you know because you have her medical record. I don't like it. And I know I have the uttermost respect for everything that these queens went through. Because you know that as queer people, we are statistically more likely to have gone through bullshit like this. So I completely respect their stories. This is not about their stories. This is about how everything was packaged to fish for an emotional reaction from the audience. And these queens have to stand there and expose themselves because that's what the show requires them to do. It's, oh my god. Oh my god. So I know I was watching this section and I was supposed to cry, but the reality is I was laughing through most of it because you have RuPaul with this smile, you know, she's salivating, she's anticipating, oh my god, this is good television, this is an Emmy. So tell me, what would you say to little Gottmik? And she's salivating, you know. And then you have cue the emotional music, cue the sad faces, and it's like, come on, my god, this is so transparent. I understand the point of it. I don't like the exploitation of it. If you get what I mean. My favorite part in all of this is that we have the same segment with Gottmik, we have it with Candy, we have it for Simone, and for all of those, RuPaul is like, oh my god, you have such inspirational stories. I am so proud of your accomplishments and your growth and your shining, and you have found yourself and you went through all of this. And then it comes to Rosé and she's like, oh yeah, Rosé, you're okay. You're okay. You're a perfectionist. You're okay. And that's it. Nothing else for Rosé. Because, you know, every chance is good to take a little bit of a dump on Rosé. We don't want to convince the audience that she actually has a chance to win this. God forbid that people think that Rosé could win this. They go, yes, Rosé, you're good. That's fine. That's all of it. And you can see that this is fishing for emotional porn because Rosé came out and said, listen, I was one of the lucky ones. It was easier for me. I had a loving family, an accepting family, and I fell in love with this heart, and this is now my job and my life. That's not enough trauma for RuPaul. She's like, yes, Rosé, you're good. In this shot, you can also appreciate how kind of fucked up Rosé's and Gottmik's and Candy's makeup actually is. It's like they were kind of going, I'm sorry. Gals, I'm sorry. But you kind of went for that Pennywise realness, didn't you? After this, we move on to the 4-way lip sync, which is a terrible idea. Well, it's actually a smart idea from a producer's perspective, but it's a terrible idea because you don't see a fuck, you don't understand anything of what's happening, you see 2% of everyone's performance, so you're left like, well, whatever you want me to like, I guess I like. Whatever you want me to dislike, I guess I dislike. And this is the 4-way lip sync. And of course, at the end of this, we have this shock moment in which we are led to believe that somebody will be eliminated and that somebody will be Simone.
When I call your name, please step forward. Gottmik, Candy Muse, Rosé. Simone. You are all moving on to the grand finale of RuPaul's Drag Race.
If you wanted to make us believe that this could actually happen, you should have left Candy or Gottmik last, because they surely are the two ones that don't really belong in the top 4 to begin with. And no offense to anyone, it's just a matter of fact. So, but of course, nobody gets eliminated, because remember, the real queen of the show is the format. So, the last episode will be out in a couple of days. I'm sorry that it took me so long to edit down the live stream for season 13, but the season went on so long that I kind of needed a break from it. But we're going to be finished with it very soon, and we will be having the chop again for All Stars live streams on Sunday, and then episodes as soon as I can edit them. A special thanks to our patrons, as usual, for supporting the channel, and if you wish to support our asses as well, there is a link for that in the description. We will be adding Patreon rewards very soon, but I will talk about that in a separate video, and we're going to see how we can manage things out somehow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.